Alright, good evening. My name is Yang Jie and this is Group 3. We will be discussing about Spotify's innovation model. In this topic, we will be explaining about Spotify's disruptive model and its lifecycle flowchart, the comparison table between MP3 and Spotify, Spotify's social impact and necessity, and lastly, C++ programming and its mockup visual. Without further delay, let's move on.
Now this is our Clayton disruptive model for MP3 versus Spotify. In the following segment, I will explain why Spotify is considered as a disruptive innovation. In the rapid evolving market, change and innovation are important to sustain growth and relevance. According to Clayton, disruption happens when a new product starts by serving low-end or overlooked users with a simpler and cheaper solution, and then gradually improves until it replaces the established technology. Now the x-axis in this graph represents the timeline, starting from MP3 in 1991 to Spotify from 2008 until today. Whereas the y-axis represents performance as valued by users, including audio quality, price, convenience, as well as the legality. First, let's compare MP3, the established technology. As you can see in the model, from 1991 onwards, MP3 was dominating the music industry and market as it offered better audio quality and full ownership of music files and started at the middle range. However, disadvantages of MP3 usage back then required users to download files, manage storage, transfer music manually from computers or CDs, as well as they had to face piracy and virus risk. Users were also responsible for backups and device management. Over time, these limitations made MP3 less convenient, even though its technical quality remained high. Although MP3 was initially a disruptive innovation against CDs, it later became replaced and was disrupted by Spotify. In comparison with Spotify, the disruptive innovation, at low end, Spotify initially offered lower audio quality compared to MP3, which meant it underperformed on traditional metrics. However, Spotify succeeded because it offered instant access to millions of songs, legal streaming, no storage limits, and low or free cost. This attracted casual listeners who valued convenience over audio perfection. At the medium end, Spotify improved rapidly by increasing streaming quality, introducing offline listening, as well as enhancing user experience across phones, laptops, and websites. At this stage, Spotify became good enough for mainstream users and began replacing MP3 for everyday listening. At the high end, Spotify introduced high bitrate audio and premium subscription plans, allowing it to compete directly with MP3 on quality while still offering superior convenience. This is where Spotify disrupts and overtakes MP3. Nonetheless, though Spotify had overtook the MP3 innovation as of today, MP3 still mainly serve niche users such as audiophiles where they prioritize and prefer old styles or for the better quality rather than mass market end users. In conclusion, Spotify is a disruptive innovation because it did not win by being better at first, but by being simpler, cheaper, as well as more convenient for underserved users. Over time, Spotify improved its performance and moved upmarket, eventually making MP3 less relevant for most users.
Hello everyone, I will be explaining the Spotify lifecycle flowchart and how it transformed the way we consume music compared to traditional MP3 downloads. So this diagram shows the development, growth, maturity, and impact of Spotify over time, alongside the decline of MP3 music from the early 1990s until today. Let's start on the left bottom of the green line of the diagram, which was the pre-Spotify era. In the early 1995, MP3 technology was introduced. Music was mainly stored on CDs and MP3 files, and users had to download and own music. Additionally, platforms like Napster and LimeWire made file sharing popular, but this also caused massive piracy, copyright issues, and declining artist revenue. So while MP3 usage grew rapidly, the industry clearly needed a better and legal solution. And this is where Spotify comes in. In year 2006, Spotify was founded in Sweden by Daniel Ek and Martin Lauriston, aiming to provide a legal, affordable, and convenient access to music. Fast forward to year 2008, Spotify was officially launched in Europe, introducing a freemium model such as free music with advertisements and premium subscriptions for ad-free listening. For the technology, they utilized P2P, short for peer-to-peer network technology, digital file distribution, and DRM, digital rights management, to protect copyrights. During this growth stage, Spotify has expanded to the US in the year 2010, launched its mobile apps, and improved cloud-based streaming. Instead of downloading MP3 files, users could now listen to music online anytime, anywhere, and without any physical media, which was a huge shift in user behavior. Next, we move into the maturity phase. Between year 2014 and 2016, Spotify introduced AI-powered features like Discover Weekly and Daily Mix playlists. These features make music personalized, which increase user engagement. Spotify also allows offline listening for premium users, making MP3 downloads even less necessary. Therefore, user behavior has shifted from buying music to subscribing to music, and from owning files to accessing cloud music. On the other hand, artists are able to earn revenue by per-stream payments. By year 2017 to 2019, Spotify has reached a global mass adoption. It became available in dozens of countries with hundreds of millions of users. At this stage, streaming has overtook MP3 as the dominant music format. At the same time, we can see the decline of MP3 music. After post-2010, users have stopped owning files, storage has shifted to cloud-based storage, and streaming has replaced downloads. MP3 players and iPods began disappearing, while streaming platforms became the new norm. Finally, from 2000 onwards, Spotify represents full market disruption. Music consumption is now fully cloud-based, subscription-driven, and integrated with smart devices, cars, and speakers. Spotify didn't just replace MP3, but it has redefined the entire music industry, influencing how artists distribute music and how users discover it. Spotify's platform are also licensed with labels, which forms the legal framework. At last, the competition among Spotify is between other online streaming platforms such as Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Joox Music. That's all from me. Thank you.
I'm Michelle Kapwading, and I'll be explaining about a comparison table between MP3 technology and Spotify to show how Spotify disrupted traditional technology music compensation. So before Spotify, MP3 was the main way people listened to digital music. Users had to download music files from the internet and store them on their computers, MP3 players, or even the iPods. This required manual file management and large storage space. Users also needed to organize and transfer songs themselves, which was very inconvenient. In contrast, Spotify introduced cloud-based music streaming. Instead of downloading files, users can instantly stream millions of songs through mobile and desktop applications. This removes the need for large storage capacities and makes music more accessible anywhere and anytime. Spotify also introduced personalized playlists and artificial intelligence-based recommendation, which helps users discover new music based on their preference. This significantly improves user experience and convenience. Overall, we can say Spotify has simplified people's access to music by providing instant streaming, personalization, multiple device compatibility, making it far more user-friendly than MP3 technologies. Next, I'll be explaining about the cost, business model, and market disruption in the comparison table. So, with MP3, users either download pirated music for free or purchase songs individually through platforms such as iTunes and many more. So this ownership-based model led to widespread piracy, which caused major revenue losses for artists and record labels. On the other hand, Spotify introduced a premium business model, where users can listen to free and with advertisement and subscription monthly for premium features. This made legal access affordable and convenient, which significantly reduced piracy. Instead of owning songs, users now pay to listen to songs. As a result, Spotify disrupted the MP3 purchase model by replacing ownership with subscription-based streaming. This transformation reshaped the global music industry, making streaming a dominant method of music consumption today. So in conclusion, I would say Spotify successfully disrupted traditional MP3 technology by offering lower cost, higher convenience, and a better overall user experience. That's all from me. Thank you.
I'm Jingyun. Now I will present further explanations of Spotify's social impacts and social necessity part. Now, I would like to explain for the positive social impact parts. Firstly, Spotify improved access to music globally. Spotify allows users worldwide to access a wide range of music easily, breaking geographical barriers. Secondly, Spotify enables cultural exchange and diversity. Artists from over 118 countries can reach international audience, encouraging cultural exchange and diverse musical expressions. Furthermore, Spotify contributes to society through community and social engagement. Spotify supports society through equity initiatives and partnerships with non-profit organizations. In contrast, Spotify still have some negative social impacts. Firstly, Spotify fails to provide a fair artist compensations model. The pursuing payment system often fails to provide fair income for independent artists even with high streaming numbers. Secondly, discouraging mood and reduced royalty. Artists using discouraging mood must accept lower royalty rates in exchange for promotions, raising concern over fairness. Last but not least, algorithmic influence on listening behavior. Spotify algorithms shapes what users hear, potentially limiting musical diversity and reinforcing mainstream trends. Overall, Spotify has significantly increased music accessibility, supported cultural diversity, and community connections. However, challenges remain regarding fair income distribution and algorithmic control over music discovery. Continuous evaluation is needed to understand Spotify's long-term social impact on both listeners and artists. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Dustin, so I will continue the C++ code for our program that builds using the online compiler. So this program gives music playlist recommendation based on user input. So this is the basic C++ program that we wrote. So it started by the including the necessary library such as the include IO string, which is the input and output, and also it include the string for handling the text. So using the namespace STT to avoid writing multiple STT for the rest of the code. So the inside the main column here, this is the variable to store the username and their playlist choice. And then the program prints a welcome title using count and prompts. So the user can enter with their name. So after that, shows a menu with 4 music playlist options and asks the user to choose one. So once the user has entered their choice, right, the program uses if-else statement determines which playlist to show. Each playlist is a set of song titles printed on the screen. So if the user enter a valid number, such as we have only 1 to 5 choice, but if the user enter like number 5, so it will come out the invalid. So it will displays an error message. So now I will run the program. So this is the output of the program. Then it will ask you to enter the name. After you enter the name, you press enter, and then you can choose 1 to 4. So at this point, I will choose number 2. Yeah, so this is the output of the result from our program. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Edmund. For our project, I was responsible for designing the interactive mockup visual. As you can see on the first slide, this is the main page of our app. It features a welcoming interface where users can input their names and choose their preferred music genres, such as K-pop or Malay hits. This design focuses on user personalization, which is a key strategy Spotify used to attract users during its innovation growth phase. Moving on to the result page. This is the interface users see after making their selection. I have designed a clean, professional playlist layout inspired by Spotify's signature dark mode. It includes essential navigation elements like the playback bar and side menu to ensure a smooth user experience. This mockup demonstrates how a well-designed interface can make digital content more accessible and engaging for the audience. That's all for my part. Thank you.